I've followed team sports all my life, and I've often been struck by just how difficult top quality sports people find it to play out a position. And yet, in business, many of the people I encounter are clearly playing out a position for them. Why aren't business leaders playing people in their natural positions? And if we look at the Gallup poll, only 15% of the global workforce being engaged, enthusiastic, highly involved in their work or workplace. Well, that's quite a damning statistic. And what Gallup also discovered, of course, is that the organisations that tended to have better financial results had better engaged employees. So there's clearly a correlation somewhere along the line. I'm not talking about cause and effect. It's just generally speaking, if we have an engaged workforce, then there's a pretty decent chance we're going to have good financial returns. So against that backdrop, it's well worth considering how many of our people are actually playing in position. Perhaps playing out of position explains for some of the 85% what's going on. Why do they do it? Typically they do it for pragmatism. They do it for economic reasons rather than for following their dreams, doing something that they really want to do. I'm really not talking about situations where we find difficulties in work. Sometime in our career we do find ourselves in less than ideal situations. We always have difficult scenarios to navigate, and the situation in the organisation's not so good, the results are under pressure, and it's really for us as to how we decide to deal with them. Our boss is having a hard time and is giving us a hard time as a result. These often are temporary things that affect us and affect our mood. Storms do pass, but it can take some time. I'm talking about long-term career decisions, long-term career paths, and I think we can only be the best that we can be and do the best job we can possibly do if we really feel that we're set ideally for ourselves, we're on the right path for ourselves. I think that's critically important. It's critically important for every individual, but it's also incredibly important for the business. Folks who are the happiest in their workplace, playing in a position for them, playing to their strengths, they're playing in a role that logically fits them, that emotionally fits them, in a culture that supports them, in a culture that they buy into. For those of us that are not engaged, we spend an incredible amount of time at work. Why aren't we engaged? In many cases I've encountered, there's a lack of confidence from the individual. I think it's a great shame because for many, making a move, a great move potentially for those individuals, is seen in their eyes as too risky. Are we going to make the most of our career? Our career's short. We've often heard the phrase, don't let your heart rule your head. Well, I say, let your heart and your head rule your head. It is difficult to make a move, but sometimes we've got to bite the bullet and make the move. Why don't we find a way or a place, a role, a culture to be engaged? If you look at top quality sports people, for many, it's a great shame because for many, often been